Welcome to Live Life Better Derbyshire's Healthier Pregnancy Programme. Today's session that we are going through is mood and food in pregnancy. So welcome to the mood and food session in Healthier Pregnancy. I'm Katie and I'll be taking you through this session today on this recording. There is also a document to support this session. If you want that and haven't got it already, just contact your Healthier Pregnancy advisor and they will send it over to you. If you've not got it, you don't necessarily need it. You can just make notes as you go along. The session will be about 40 minutes long, so find somewhere you can focus as much as possible. No, that might not always be the case. And bring along a drink or a brew to have while you're doing it. Make yourself comfortable. Pause as much as you need to explore or have time to think about what's relevant for you at each section. Hopefully you will take something useful away from this session with you. Enjoy. In the session today, we will be looking at understanding the link between mood and food, how to boost your mood without food, and mood boosting food choices. So first we're going to look at understanding the link between mood and food. So here's a quick introduction to mood and food in pregnancy. So pregnancy causes significant hormonal fluctuations which can affect mood, which we will talk about a little bit more throughout the session. Eating well can help support the body's ability to manage these changes. A diet high in fibre and diverse plant-based foods can positively influence gut bacteria, which may have a positive impact on mental health. So let's have a little look into food and mood. So our moods can impact our food choices and our food choices can impact our mood. Our habits and behaviours around food are developed over the course of our life, and we can sometimes become dependent on food to distract us from certain moods or to seek comfort. So it is just worth starting to be mindful about when we reach for certain foods and why. Okay. So let's have a little think about what might influence your mood throughout the day. So these can be many reasons. There are many factors that affect our mood. These are just a few of them. So our hormones, like we say, especially in pregnancy, in the first and third trimester, they are also come into play more so. So that can be one factor. The people around us can impact our mood. We know when we've had too much time with certain people that we might feel a certain way, or some people say certain things or make us feel a certain way. So we kind of just have to think about that and how much time we spend with those people that trigger certain emotions. How much activity we've done, so have we moved our body, that can have a positive impact on our mood, and the opposite is true if we've not moved too much enough. Our sleep and tiredness, fatigue as well within that, and that again is another factor during pregnancy. Our overall mental health and well-being, the amount of stress we have, and the food we eat can have an impact there. So have a think about if there's anything else that you think impacts your mood and what and how that affects you throughout the day. Now we're going to just talk a little bit more about mood swings during pregnancy. And as we've already mentioned in some of the previous slides, our hormones can are fluctuating throughout pregnancy, and the first and last 3 months particularly, our hormones are doing a job. They become more prevalent within our body to prepare us for carrying a pregnancy in the first bit and getting ready for labour in the last 3 months. So changes in mood can happen quickly, and this can be affected not only by hormones but tiredness and nausea and just our general kind of day-to-day stress that we have as well. So bursts in emotion can come both ways. We can be happy 1 minute and impatient, angry, sad or tearful. You might understand that how that feels right now. So that can vary quite quickly. It is normal to have these ups and downs in your mood during pregnancy. Again, just because we are dealing with an abundance of hormones, and that comes across in various emotions. So, what moods do you feel throughout your day? So take a few moments now to think about what moods you might feel within your day, whether you are at the early stages of pregnancy, late stages of pregnancy, just wherever you're at right now, just think about what you might feel throughout the day. So have a few minutes to think about that. Jot a few things down on a piece of paper or on the worksheet. So here are some moods or emotions that might show up in your day. So we've got worried, stressed, happy, overwhelmed, frustrated or angry, joyful, excited, and you might kind of feel the whole range of these within a few hours of each other's, or minutes even. And these are just a few emotions that you might feel. We've pulled out some of the extreme ones. So try and start noticing how you're feeling, what you're feeling throughout your day. Each day, everyone has a variety of different feelings, which is normal. This statement here is from Diabetes UK. So in a world where we are often surrounded by food, eating can be a common response to our moods. So this is acknowledging that food is often used as a tool, but that can lead, if we are feeling lots of different emotions at lots of different times and we are responding by eating or grabbing a sugary snack or what we class as treats each time, it can have an impact on our health long term. So I think a lot of people use food to cope with feelings, but it's just managing that and finding other ways alongside that, or noticing that that's what we do and how we can kind of reduce that or use different tools at different times to manage our feelings and help to regulate those. Food is often used as a distraction, so we kind of are avoiding feelings. So it might be worth trying to think, what am I feeling now? Why am I feeling this? Oh, for various reasons. Because in pregnancy the mood swings happen, it might be worth finding other tools, which we are going to talk about today. Some options anyway today, and implementing those. So yeah. So have a think now, what moods might lead to you reaching for a snack or a food treat? Have a few minutes just having a think about that. So again, this is from Diabetes UK, and it suggests that we may benefit from finding different strategies so we can actually identify what emotions we're feeling, express them, and learn how to manage them rather than just managing our feelings with food, which is kind of an avoidance or distraction technique. So next we will be exploring some ways we can change our mood, boost our mood, or explore our mood without food involved. So how to boost your mood without food? Let's have a look at what we've got. So here are just a few examples. This is not exhaustive. You can identify or think about things that will be helpful for you. By all means, try some of these on screen that we're going to go through. But what things might boost your mood or make you able to express or identify your emotions? So, some mood boosting ideas. So, talking with friends or peers, movement and physical activity. It's been very well researched into the last few years that moving our body can help process emotions, which helps with our mental health. So there is now an association with more exercise and improved mental health. So breathing techniques or meditation, which I suppose gives us a chance to kind of sit with the emotion, allow us to feel it and inquire what's going on rather than react quickly to feeling uncomfortable from a certain emotion coming up by grabbing a snack or some food to calm it. So non-food treats, I know that's what we're exploring, but what does that mean for you? So what is a non-food treat? Might be reading a magazine, getting a bath, calling a friend. Have a think about what that might look like for you. So what non-food treats might be painting your nails, things that are going to give you a little bit of a dopamine hit, so a boost, a happy boost from your brain. We'll look at that again in more detail in a minute. So yeah, explore that a little bit. Connecting with others in the pregnancy community, so finding outlets through your midwife, leisure centres, just peer groups where you can share ideas and talk about how you might be feeling with your moods and pregnancy. Getting in touch with nature, slowing down, taking notice, finding ways to give or share with others, and read, research, or that's underneath my head. So chemicals that give us a boost. So there are 4 hormones that help with changing our mood. So influence our moods and emotions and feelings. So these are dopamine, which is the reward chemical. So that's a little bit of kind of thank you, comes out of your brain and you know, we feel good because of it. We feel productive, we feel like being useful. Oxytocin, the love chemical. Endorphins, so that they actually are a painkiller chemical, but endorphins are released, I think in exercise it's quite common, and hormone that is useful, and serotonin, so a calming chemical. So all these hormones can be released from various activities or spending time doing certain things. And if we can do things that boost any of these things, that will help us to feel better, good, a boost in our mood. So we'll explore a few things now. Now, these are just a few examples. This isn't exhaustive, so by all means, as I said, go and find what gives you the boost, what boosts your hormones in this way, your happy hormones, I think they are referred to. So things that boost our dopamine, so getting enough sleep, achieving a goal, having a bath, eating food. So that's why we often use food as comfort, because we get a little bit of a dopamine reward from it, especially the sugary ones. So can we find ways to release dopamine to give us that effect without turning to those foods? So endorphin, how do we release endorphin? So listening to music, exercising, as I mentioned, laughing. So find ways to access those that suit you. Oxytocin, petting animals, physical touch, so hugs, love, helping others, so feeling useful in that way, that kind of caregiving role, socialising in the right situation, because some social situations obviously can decrease our mood depending how drained we feel, who we're around. But we know who boosts our mood, and that's when we get that oxytocin, those people that give us kind of that good feedback. And serotonin can be released with trying to be more mindful, process our feelings, journaling, meditation, breathing exercises, sunshine, walks in nature. So again, these are just a few examples. Have a think where you can get your good mood from. We're going to talk a little bit about depression during pregnancy. It's worth being aware of the signs of perinatal depression or antenatal depression. So if your moods or feelings are more than just normal mood swings, it is important that you seek out professional help. Perinatal depression is depression during pregnancy. And as we've said, mood changes, highs and lows are normal throughout pregnancy, but if they are ongoing and you no longer feel like doing the things you used to enjoy, then that is a sign that you need to seek help. So speak to your GP or midwife. Here we've just kind of looked at a few signs of depression that is worth talking about or bringing up with your midwife. So if you are persistently feeling sad or in a low mood, there's lack of enjoyment and loss of interest in the wider world, you're not kind of as bothered anymore. Lack of energy and feeling tired all the time, which might be a normal feeling of pregnancy, but it's worth mentioning. Trouble sleeping at night and feeling sleepy during the day. Again, can be a normal symptom of pregnancy, but just speak to someone about it. Finding it difficult to look after yourself, withdrawing from contact with other people, problems concentrating and decision making. And here are some signs of postnatal depression. So feeling down, tearful and anxious for the first week after childbirth is normal and often called the baby blues. If this lasts longer than 2 weeks or starts later, then it could be postnatal depression. So speak to your GP, midwife or health visitor as soon as you can to get support with this. So some signs of postnatal depression: feeling sad or in a low mood or tearful, feeling irritable or getting angry easily, losing interest in other people and the world around, not wanting to eat or eating more than usual, negative thoughts such as worrying, you'll not be able to look after your baby, and that being like the constant cycle of thoughts, feelings of guilt or hopelessness, and blaming yourself or your problems for your problems, having problems concentrating and making decisions. As I say, please reach out if you don't need all of those signs, just if there's anything that you feel not right about your mood, if it's prolonged, if you are not feeling very good on the whole, please do speak to your midwife or health visitor. So now we're going to move on to mood boosting food choices. So the food we choose to eat can have a big impact on our moods. A sugary snack might feel good short term, but that feeling doesn't last that long. And this can then contribute to more feelings of shame or low moods. And then we're just in kind of this cycle. That's unless we intervene and make some more helpful choices. So seeking better food choices can help disrupt this cycle, this food mood kind of cycle that we can get into. So here we've got low mood or high emotion. So either or, we can eat when we're happy and sad or anytime. But if you want to seek then a change of emotional state, and then we eat to temporarily boost that mood. So seeking a better food choice can help to disrupt this cycle. So if we intervene at the stage of eating to temporarily boost mood, this can help regulate our emotions going forward. So we are going to explore now what foods we could eat at that point, or eat generally, to stop us getting into this food mood cycle. So here are some suggestions for food mood boosting food choices. That's a mouthful. So eating regularly, it helps maintain blood sugar levels. So then we are not reaching for food when we have a dip in energy because of our blood sugars dropping. So just keeping a good balanced blood sugar will help that. Eating or choosing to eat slow release energy sources. So by this we mean whole grain breads and cereals, nuts and seeds, the brown rice or brown pasta. So it gives us that kind of slow release energy source. Another option is keeping hydrated. So we suggest about 2 litres of water a day and more if you are breastfeeding, or if you're working out and sweating as well, or if it's warm. So keeping hydrated will help in managing and regulating our moods. Eating at least 5 fruit and veggies a day, so incorporating those alongside meals into our meals or as snacks. So making sure we include protein sources into our meals and snacks. We often don't think of reaching for the protein options as snacks. So by protein we mean obviously meat, fish, dairy, but legumes such as beans, peas, lentils, nuts and seeds, eggs, cheese and soya products that can replace this. Trying to reduce our caffeine intake can help regulate moods. Within pregnancy, it is recommended to keep caffeine levels low anyway, but alongside that, caffeine can make us feel anxious or depressed. It can disturb sleep, especially if we have it before bed, or give you withdrawal symptoms if you haven't had your coffee this morning and things like that, if you suddenly stop. So it's worth considering the caffeine within your day here. So and the last one is eating good fats. So making sure we get healthy fats within our diet. Our brain needs certain fatty acids such as omega-3 and omega-6 to keep it working well. So if you're struggling with mood long term or just within pregnancy, then including these can help regulate and manage that. So nuts and seeds, avocados, oily fish are good for that. And generally looking after our gut health, so making sure we get the wide range of fruit and veg in, plants and seeds into our diet to help with our gut health. So our gut can reflect our mood. So if you're feeling anxious or stressed, that can slow down the gut, or it can speed it up. So that can then be problematic for digestion. So implementing these range of options here that we've just gone through can help with your overall gut health. So lastly is reducing alcohol. Obviously in pregnancy, no alcohol is recommended, but so that kind of reduction or, limiting of alcohol can be helpful to your overall mental health and mood. So we've covered quite a lot in this session. So here are a few of the key points that you might find useful to just go over again. So frequent mood changes in pregnancy is normal, especially in the first and last 3 months. Comfort eating food is a common response to our moods, but it can replace noticing how we are feeling and processing emotions. That goes on then to consider finding some new ways, non-food ways, to boost your mood, to help reduce how often food is used as that tool. Eating up regularly, keeping hydrated, and reducing snacking on high sugar and fat foods could improve your mood. So go back to that slide previous to this if you want to look at ways you can manage your food and what foods you choose to eat with regards mood boosting. And if your mood has dipped for a prolonged period that's not normal for you or feels different, or even if it doesn't, speak to your GP or midwife or health visitor to get the support you need. So what are you going to take away from this session? It might have given you lots of thoughts, lots of stuff to think about in associating the mood we have and the food we eat and why we eat and vice versa. So what could you start? Could you start to notice your response to your moods? Or could you try one of the suggestions of how to boost your mood if you're feeling a bit low or angry or sad or bored or whatever? What could you stop? Could you stop reaching for food when you feel bored or try a different approach? Instead, what could you continue? So could you continue to include the foods or habits that you already do that boost your mood? So have a think about what good things you already do that are helpful to keeping your moods regulated and not as fluctuating. So your questions, if you have any questions, just make a note of these and ask your Healthier Pregnant advisor as part of your next call, or join one of our upcoming coffee and chat sessions and just bring it up there as a question. Because if you're thinking it, someone else is, and we can have a chat about it. Yeah. So lastly, here are some links you might find useful. We have put on there for signposting the First Steps Eating Disorder Charity. If this session has evoked some realization that your eating is heavily in response to a mood, it might be worth checking in with First Steps there. I have also linked the Pandas Foundation UK, which has information and support for around postnatal and perinatal depression. But please do reach out to your midwife or health visitor, GP, if you need further support with any moods or feelings of depression.